About to go online. We are booting up. We'll be here ready in a second. In the meantime, I'll be playing around. Uh, I have a new microphone set up. It's uh, it's not on my desk, so now you know, there won't be much hearing of all the extra noises and whatnot. But anyhow, so let's get rolling. Let me make sure that we are good on Twitter, as I do run this on Twitter. So in the meantime, ads they run about every 20 minutes. Just the Twitch thing, as a Twitch affiliate. Having said that, uh, I'm going to pause when need be so that nobody has to miss anything. And I will try to get back to. Oh, okay. Uh, JJ has appeared in chat. Hey, JJ, how is it going? There's an ad about to start in like 20 seconds, so I don't want to miss you. But oh shit, I barely ever seen your stream. So I mean, yeah, I'm going to try to be more regular in 2022. 2021 was a little wild for me, and just I'm a uh, I'm a slow motion. Take it easy, get to know the field. I uh, I don't think I made. Thank you, JJ. I don't think I was strategic in how I inserted myself into the community. However, uh, I don't know if that is a mistake. That is on me or the nature of Twitch politics per se. But uh, we can move forward, and in a way, that is an inspiration for this stream today. So, uh, as the title says, a state of Leftists Online 2022. I'm sort of memeing on the State of the Union speech that the President of the United States of America gives every year. Now, I by no means command any sort of implicit leadership position in Twitch politics. It is really decentralized, if we want to use a political term. However, I feel like maybe it would be good if I sort of cataloged and documented what I think uh, where we are right now and where we should be next year, hopefully. And it's ironic. One of the things I want to bring up is the global appeal of Twitch politics and YouTube politics, and you being from Canada, people being from other parts of the world. Uh, there's something I want to make a note of on that, and actually, let me start off with that. Is I know a lot of people meme on a lot of the Twitch panels and whatnot about, oh, hey, it's a Canadian, don't listen to them, or oh, it's an Australian, or a European. And I know we do this as Americans as a meme, as a joke, but I think inherently, I think it is disrespectful, it is immature, and it is like, uncouth, unbecoming of where we want to take anything we do online in this semblance of leftist politics. I know it. I'm not trying to be a woke scold. I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. But what I think we ought to be at least in spirit of is that as leftists, our numbers are few, and as leftists, it is not a nationalist thing. It is more so a global thing. We are citizens of the world. It is workers of the world united, right? The struggle is across races, across borders, and it is one of class and of solidarity. And there are varying levels of what we want to call leftism, but at least when it comes to the composition and how we interact with one another, I think we can leave those jokes and things aside. I believe that will serve us better in the long run, to be honest. Uh, so uh, to leftists online, to the bigger creators, to if you go on a panel yourself, whoever is out there watching this, please, uh, out of respect for your fellow leftist, uh, don't go in there with the ha you're Canadian joke, ha you're French, ha you're English, you're a Brit bonger, or ha you're Australian or New Zealand. It doesn't matter what you say. I know it's not meant in a bad way. It's supposed to be cute, but let's not waste our time in what possibly could sow some doubt or division, or maybe hurt feelings of people that may not be aware of the memes. Memes are only good when everybody's in on it. And uh, as diverse as the left is, and something that we do pride ourselves on, we should be we should be aware and be apprised of the fact that uh, there are people that may not understand everything the way we intend it to be. Having said that, the next thing I think I want to see in 2022 of people on the left online, uh, and this is not in any way a comprehensive or conclusive list, but more so it is just kind of a culmination of, maybe some recent sentiments, but some sentiments I've seen that I've kept throughout the entire year. Uh, and let's see. Sorry about this. Another sentiment is, my computer's. I hope it doesn't freeze. So I know this is gonna be hard for many to be okay with, but I would like to see leftist streamers to do less React Andy content. And I know the React Andy content industry uh, is one of the cornerstones, the base of a lot of what is done on political Twitch. But I think that we ought to not focus on filling in hours with emptiness, and focus on maybe a qualitative delivery of leftist politics as it pertains to streaming, and less on this quantitative aspect of streaming. What do I mean by that? I and maybe I'm biased because I'm a 1 hour, 2 hour streamer, but I feel like somebody that gives me a good 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours of qualitatively good material, analysis, coverage, uh, even panels that are qualitatively of good stock and efficacious in the long term, is much more valuable than, oh hey, I'm an 8 hour, 9, 10 hour Andy, and 60, 70% of what I do is React Andy content of the memes, of the latest dramas. Now, there are certain streamers that is what they do, and I think that's cool. I think that's okay, and they do a good job of it. I wouldn't say all, but there are a few that I think do a good job of it. But I think more people need to be more diverse in what they offer, and to do a little bit more hard work than just, how the meme goes. You're reacting to a react to a react of a react, and I understand it's easy. It gets the viewers. It gets different aspects and perspectives, but we can't become the thing we despise, and that is the reality TVification of politics, Donald Trump, the corporatization of politics, where we are, enslaved in a sense to doing whatever gets clicks, doing whatever gets subs and points and bits and berries and cherries and all that jazz, right? Smite Night, hey Smite, hey, I do a good 2 hour, 4 hour content. It's just buried in 8 hour streams. Hey, that is perfectly fine. Uh, I, again, here I am just kind of, uh, and I don't have, I guess I don't have license as much to push my vision because I haven't ever put more than 3 hours in, and even then I'm dead. So I can't imagine ever doing 8 hours. But uh, I think, and I'll say this is that I once went over a debate, and it alone took me 3 hours, and I was conked, tired. But uh, my point is there are those that will do 8 hour streams and not give you 30 minutes because, and I'm not naming names, but from the get go, it's drama. It's the memes. It's the react content. It's the what is the drama now, and let's get in fights with people. Let's pull in people on Discord and fight and talk and hurt, and it is all for naught, you know. Stream without engaging with Mr. Girl or Destiny or Bosch or MTG determine you may have my respect. Hey, JJ, that's funny. So shows on time on Twitch. Yeah. I appreciate that, Smite Knight. So moving on, I want to see more streamers admit when they are wrong and move on. I believe we're here to learn from one another, to not have a hard-headed level of pride, because the one thing I hated growing up was, hey, Sagio, nice to have you here. You sound familiar. Wink, wink. That's an inside joke. I know who the person is. Having said that, I want people that stream. Oh yeah, well, you just outed yourself, Stephanie. I was gonna keep it. I was gonna keep it quiet or secret. But all right, now we know. I'm wrong all the time. So I would like to see people admit that they're wrong and move on. Yeah, and where I'm going with this is when I see panels where it seems like they are trying to imitate the streamers that they want to be, like I don't know, Vosh or Destiny or whoever, and they just double, triple, quadruple down on a point, and even in light of actual evidence, they just will not move, and it's as if that not only do they have this pride issue where they want to double down and not change, but it's almost like a like this tribal sport where their chat, I'm thinking, won't you know doesn't want their streamer to give up, or at least vice versa. The streamer will think that they have let down their chat and will keep hammering away at a point. And again, I don't think we should be here for pride issues. Pride as in personal pride, not pride in the LGBTQIA plus sense. So I don't want to be clipped out of context because evidently that's a thing now. And you're good, Stephanie. Exactly. And I like what JJ said in chat. Or they say humility is not humiliating, it's endearing. And I agree that I remember growing up during the George W. Bush years, and the one thing I hated was that George W. Bush never said sorry, even when he was confronted with a mistake. He, him, all right. Um, the same thing with Cheney, Condoleezza Rice. Like even now, if you ask them, would you do the same and go back to Iraq, and they will tell you yes, and it's just galling, you know. Uh, so I think we ought to keep an eye on where we are, and understand that we do not want to be what we despise. And what we despise is being hard-headed, being inflexible, being not willing to accept mistakes, and so forth. Also, there's one more thing I want to tell people. And I'm not saying this because I'm jealous, or I got my feelings hurt, but or I haven't seen success on this platform, because I haven't really given a real attempt. Uh, as JJ mentioned earlier, uh, holy crap, they barely ever see me stream. It's really mainly because I find being in the chat of other streamers much more fun, where I get to be, a little cantankerous. But my what I want to see is for any streamer out there that is small, maybe like me, and you happen to maybe find success this year. Hey, quiet one. Nice to have you here. Wait, empathy isn't a weakness? Shucks. Ah, well, if you know. uh, but for streamers out there that are small, whether you're a one viewer Andy, two viewer Andy, and luckily today I'm a seven viewer Andy for now. We'll see how long that lasts. Uh, if you are lucky that you strike at the right time, and you uh, you become popular, and people like you and bring you onto panels and shows, and you can balance, you do the memes, and you fall in the in group, and we know how it goes. You're a nobody, and then all of a sudden you interview somebody, you say something on panel, da 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 da, and it takes you to the top. uh Please don't forget where you came from. And I don't mean this in a like a weird, like, yo, don't forget where you came from. You came from the hood, and blah blah blah. No, I mean it in a, don't change. And this takes me back to the thing about, well, maybe those people did not necessarily change, but the added exposure, the amplification of their platform maybe exposes more of them that maybe wasn't there under a microscope from before. I'm not going to name names, and it is quite ironic because a person just arrived in chat that I have spoken to this about before, Mr. Potato Karen, Peter, who says the streamers who do this position themselves as authorities on topics. This combined with the fact that everyone is influenced to double down on. So I said publicly, yes, on regarding the last topic, or the last point I want to bring up, you are right. But even on this topic that I'm talking about, I spoke with Peter once, where I found myself sometimes disappointed by particular streamers that shall go unnamed, and there are several. And it seemed to me that when they were much smaller, they seemed much more likable, or uh, somebody I would like. They would say have a beer with, and then all of a sudden they become big all of a sudden, and all the best. I wish everybody to Hey, Tamanese. Wait. Well, you are cute, so you got that going for you. Sorry, being cringe mom. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't get many compliments, so when they do come, I put them in a little jar and I keep them so I can remember them. No, actually, I don't do that. But no, that is not cringe at all. That is compliments of all varieties are welcome here. And if anything, that should be another point of thing. Let's be more willing to be nice and complimenting of other people for all of their qualities, whether it's even if it's a physical, or a you know, sometimes a smile at a person can cheer a person up that day, and I think that's a good thing. Sometimes I remember I would be feeling down, and a little baby would smile at me, and I would smile back, and I'd feel much better. So, thank you, JJ. So, back to my point about that I was bringing up was, if you are a small streamer right now and you watch this and you get big in the next year in 2022, please, uh, please, either, again, I don't know, this is kind of a weird thing to ask of people because I don't even know how I would react, but again, I have seen several streamers who, it seems, when they were in the tens and 15, 20 viewer, 30 viewer, they were so much different then than when they became 100, 200, 300. And it's kind of depressing because um, am I freezing? No. Because all of a sudden it became about the memes. It became about the clout. It became about the interviews. It became about getting in fights with people. It became about the Twitter wars. It became about trying to take down the next big person. And that's not cool. That's not worth our time here. Our time is short on this world. Our time is short on this platform. How long is this Twitch thing gonna last? Right? I mean, just look at all the DMCA drama. Anyways, there's an ad in 13 seconds, so I'm going to slow down for the 1 minute while the ads play. I apologize in advance, but hopefully, please stick around. I won't go too far. But for anybody who's still here, uh, what's the next thing? I'm going to cover assigning worst intent and judgments. Yes, yes, Might Knight. You say, I mean, leftists infighting is kind of the name of the game here. You're right. And I'd like to see less of that. We in 2022 should do less infighting. I know that's kind of like easy said than done. And all political factions have uh 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 I will play that. You know what? Actually, chat, can you play that because I don't have my setup right now to get a clip on screen really quickly. I just have one screen up, so um, but I will, or I'll try to play it later if I can get that figured out. But yes, this ad is almost done. 4 more seconds. Um, Tam says, "True. Some will close the door behind them once they get bigger," and yeah, and it's I don't. Well, does that idiom mean like not like help those behind them, or they change altogether? Either way, I understand that to be like, you know it's almost as if they change. uh and yes, thank you, JJ, for sharing that. I'll have a look at it here in a second, once I get this up in a second. But another point I wanted to reach out is, I want people to stop assigning worst intent and their worst judgments on people. Because I've seen this weird thing where somebody will tweet something and all of a sudden, let's call them a genocide supporter. Let's call them an anti Semite. Let's call them a racist. Let's call them a fake leftist or a lib or a this or a that. And you know, I know Twitter used to be 140 characters, and now it's like what, 280 or 240. Uh, and yes, you can say Twitch. We've got unlimited streaming, etc. But for the love of God, please, please, for the community, but also for streamers, stop taking everybody at worst intent, at the worst thing possible. Well, why can we not start out at least from the best case scenario? And if you see cause or reason to dilute that position to where you think less and come to a position that is less charitable, then so be it. But if you already start in the gutter you're only going to most likely stay stuck in the gutter. And I'd like to see in 2022 that we stop assigning worse intent on people and worse judgments and thinking people support genocide and racism and are dumb and are stupid, or they hate rated you when they really rated you, etc., etc. Tap the brakes. You know, electronic braking systems are a thing now. You don't even have to push that much pressure. You just slow down a little bit. There are speed bumps. These are your colleagues. These are your peers, big or small. Would you? How would you feel if in your own family, every time there was a misunderstanding amongst one another, you called your dad or a mom a liar, your brother a genocide support? No, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't, because you know that your dad or your mom or your cousin or your family member comes from a good place in their heart. You may disagree with them. You may think that them supporting Trump or them, being a tanky or whatever isn't the best thing to be, but they're not inherently evil people. They don't believe in genocide or locking up kids. There are other reasons for why they have come to that position, and assigning the worst in people, uh, you know, and I'm seeing the word me included. I think Peter's talking about himself, but I would say myself as well. I'm here preaching, but sometimes I fall for that thing where you know, even streamers I like will have tussles with other personalities, small and big. And I assign these really like nefarious things to that person. And shame on me for that, for not living up to what I want to see in others. That is hypocritical. Peter says, I think people are so addicted to these behaviors. It's the easiest thing to do. It's much harder to stop in the moment and ask yourself if these actions are worth it, me included. And you're correct, Peter. Peter, you are, I think, one of the more mature people I interact with. Uh, and I think having that introspection to understand that, yes, I can hope and push for some sort of change, even if I myself have not mastered it. You call me a hypocrite, call me whatever, say that I do as I say, not as I do. But again, these are things I'd like to see in here. Now, here is another weird thing, and I'm not no church boy, but even I just watched the last panel that was on today, and I know this is going to be very cringe of me, but I'd like to see less cursing at other people. I know that sounds like a fifth grade thing to say, but if we want to be serious, if we want not necessarily serious, but respected, if let's it's sort of like if your mom walked by and saw the screen on, would they be gasping in horror, or would they want to learn more about what you do? Now, what do I mean? I'm not saying we have to be G rated all the time. We've got dark humor. We can meme about certain things, etc. But when I watch a panel where we supposedly have people of all political stripes and people are throwing the F bombs at each other, and I mean F bombs in what seems very personal, invective sort of ways, like "F you, you dumb MFer. You don't know shit, MFer. You're from England. You're from Australia. You're from Canada. What would you know, MFer? F you. And like, okay, maybe I'm a little being, exaggerating, but if I didn't know Twitch and I put it on for the first time, I'd say this is a complete zoo. I mean, not even a zoo. This is a complete, you know, shit show. Excuse my language. So this is another one of the things where I, if you consider yourself to be a streamer and politically astute, sociologically, cognizant of the ills that pervade the society, that you're a philosophy bro, etc., etc. I think it's easy to understand that treating each other, your peers, whether you disagree with them or not, a modicum of respect is something to aspire to, and it's not a very hard aspiration to accomplish. So let's keep that in mind, and and I really think we will be better for it altogether. Hey, Dax Crew. My cousin was advocating shooting protesters. I know he's an alien, but still, the federal government is really strong in Roblox. Uh, and I can see why that is hard to take on. Now, I don't know if it's my life experiences that have numbed me, but I grew up in the South as a very, very far lefty. And when you're a leftist in the South, you get all types of abuse, all types of epithets, slurs, and whatnot. And in a sense, I could have somebody tell me the craziest thing, and I could smile and try to break down where they're coming from and why they are where they are. Now, there is a point where it can get frustrating that they aren't willing to move at all. But there are ways to, I think, show that person why the way they think is in error. So I think instead of maybe personalizing it or even using it in an American example, explain that, you know, a lot of right wingers are big boogeyman about the communists. Even though I don't want to use this example, but maybe in this scenario it would work. Say, well, in 1989 in Tiananmen Square, uh, there were protesters and they ran over them with tanks, or they were going to, and they shot many of them and then sent the bill for their bullet to their home. Now, I know I don't want to get into the whole commie bad and da 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 da, but give them a little red meat that they want to nibble on. And even if you wouldn't do that usually, let them nibble on it and then reel them in a little bit. And what do I mean by reeling them in is, well, you could also mention that during the civil rights era, uh, you know, or in East Berlin, or in so many places where horrible things happened, these were the tactics they did. You could also talk about, the First Amendment to free speech. Uh, Today you want to shoot these protesters, but tomorrow those protesters could be you. Would you want to be shot at? Is that fair? Is that moral? And there are a million ways in one to do that. And I think at the crux of fascism is an inherent hollowness, uh, an inherent hollowness of what do you call it? Not viability, but a hollowness of purpose and will. Uh, Fascists, when they fight, they are not fighting for some unifying message and whatnot, but it is on tropes, it is on slogans, it is on these little hits of dopamine that soon fade out, and instead uh, do not serve to better anybody's material, social, psychological well being, whereas other political ideologies do. And people are willing to fight more in that sense, if that makes any sense. Um, Mr. Karen says, I think my mom swears more than I do. I'm so used to it that I don't notice the bad words. But what is bad, in my opinion, is the sentiment or intention or energy when you engage with people, not the sort of themselves. I agree, Peter. I guess it's that energy. Correct. Like, what are you trying to do with those words? Words are just words, obviously, and you can use words even that are not curse words in a way that is demeaning and with an intention to uh, stifle debate or demean somebody, even memery, right? Oh shit, my computer is freezing. I need to just a second, guys. I need to probably close some things out. Oh no. No, everything is good on my end. I don't know why it's freezing. You know what? I'm gonna close out Google Chrome. Sorry. Just a second, y'all. I don't know why it's doing this. Just a second. Okay, it must be this like new little thing that I installed. But anyhow, um, so yeah, it's I guess what are you trying to accomplish with that invective and that Stephanie says, when you have people shouting at each other and attacking one another, they're no longer addressing the actual problem or the point at hand, whether it is on panel or in a personal relationship. And I agree. Usually at that point, it's almost like a uh, a physical fight of vocal cords, right? It's you thinking you being louder and brasher is tantamount to in Roblox punching that person, etc. And it is not very, very, very good. And uh, Peter, you read my mind. Zone, you say I think that Zonia is very skilled at having productive conversations, and that's funny because I literally told her the other day that I am going to be doing this stream and that I would be sending her the VOD of it because I see her as a sort of statesperson or a state elder or something like that in a good way. I mean, of this community in the sense that even the people that she may not get along with, she has a rigid application of principles that apply to everybody, be they somebody she disagrees with, or or agrees with, or is on her team, or is on the opposing team, and she does so in a very measured way with a modicum of metal, not mettle, not the hard like iron metal, but and she has that temperament that you would want to see in any leader, in a pilot, in the person that carries the nuclear football, and she did mention her age the other day, so I'm not going to repeat it out of respect. That's you don't do that, right? But I'd like to say, aside from age, I think just her as a person and her life experiences must play a role into it. I don't I can't confirm that. I'm just kind of extrapolating from what I see in myself. I would say 10 years ago, if I was 23 years old and I was on Twitch, like a lot of these 23-year-olds coming out of college, I would have thought I was a hotshot. And that's what I thought I was 10 years ago. I entered the petroleum oil industry as a pipeline engineer, and I thought I was hot shit. Excuse my language. I thought I was a smart ass. I thought I knew better than everybody. Uh, and that didn't win me friends. It boosted my confidence and braggadocio-ness or whatever. But in the end, it was all for naught. And I do regret that sometimes. 10 years later, having gone through a lot, and I would have to say, and I made a tweet about this, but I would say the last 8 years of my life seem to be have this heavy impact on me than I would say the 20 years before that or whatever. Maybe I'm getting a little in my feels right now, but anyhow, she's someone that people should strive to be like. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And when I see her on panels, when I see her stream, Uh, Even the way she deliberately speaks, her cadence. Zonia is a streamer. I believe it's Zonia Undead or Zonia Dead or Zonia Alive. Uh, if anybody has her link, I'll find it here in a second. Uh, but uh, even when I stream, you will notice that sometimes yeah, Zonia Dead. I speak slowly. I try to imitate not the Obama cadence, but like the being measured in how you speak, just so you think about what you're about to say and do it in a way where people can hear you, concise, clearly, and hopefully understand you and whatnot. So yeah. All right, great. Yeah, it is Zonia Dead. Zoniadead, as Sagio Mayer has mentioned. Um, Now, I did. Uh, Thank you, Quiet One. I appreciate that. Uh, that is it. I did tell Zonia about that, and she was like, "Well, I'm not really all that great, but I think she's self-deprecating, or whatever the word is, and that's another good sign." So, another thing is, and this is obvious, uh, and this is kind of like a meme right now, but less parasocialness. Uh, However, on that same vein, saying less parasocialness from what I mean by less parasocialness is from people in chat, and what I mean by that is when it comes to the stupid little things that go between streamers, please don't don't act like one streamer's like you're a streamer daddy and you've got to defend them and fight everybody else on that's pointless. Well, why are you wasting your energy doing that? A better use of your energy would be understand what at the crux is what are the differences that we're fighting over here, and are they really differences? Now, one of the last, or at least what I could come up with, and in chat, feel free to add if I'm missing anything or anything you'd like to see change in 2022, because, speak up now or forever hold your silence until 2023. I do plan, I was thinking maybe every 6 months doing this, so maybe we will revisit this topic on June 14th or June 15th, 2022, or we'll revisit this next year, this time, January 2023. And yes, I will have chat on stream, and we'll go over what you have mentioned. So y'all can consider yourselves the first seven or eight inaugural viewers, chatters of the solo speech, the state of Leftists Online speech. It's a meme now, but maybe it'll catch on and become a thing. And where I got the inspiration for it was Thought Slime or Mildred does something called the IB award. It's a I as in the body part, and a B like BIE, and they gave a bunch of like kind of like Grammys or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Why not do this little thing called a speech on the state of the left online, uh, et cetera, et cetera. And there was one thing I wanted to talk about was this little like rift between YouTube video essayists versus Twitch streamers, but I'm not going to cover that really unless somebody else here. Thank you, Dark. Unless somebody here has more info, but uh, from what I understand, there are video essayists, video streamers on YouTube that are getting in Twitter spats with Twitch streamers, and it's as if Twitch, I don't even want to address it. Maybe I don't understand what the problem is, but if in the next couple of months I understand the thing more, I maybe cover it. Now, this may turn off a lot of people, and this will be one of my closing remarks, uh, because I have to finish a an episode of Succession, because I see a lot of myself in who's the kid that their dad is always tough on him and hates him. Roy, not Roy, Kendall. Yeah, Kendall. I'm Kendall basically, of the family, the rebel, the rebel. But no, that'll be another day. We'll talk about that. If only. Okay, I'll leave it at that. I won't even get into that. But I want. Oh, oh, Peter, you need to watch the show. Like it's one of those shows where I used to like think people that rewatched shows were stupid. Like, why would you watch a show that you already watched? Oh, thank you for that. Hey, that little thing worked. I did a little thing where the little thing goes on the stream. Thank you, Stephanie, for that. Peaky Blinders. That's something I've heard of, so I'll check that out. But usually I don't like to rewatch shows, but this is one of those shows that I rewatched along with Homeland and Billions. Uh, and I don't really. Hey, look at that! Look at that little. Hey, oh, I need to make it last longer. Wait, that didn't sound right. But you know what I do when I rewatch? And I did rewatch Breaking Bad once, but I want to do it again because yeah, Bearhead. There is. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Oh no. Oh shit. Wait, wait. If I go this way, yeah, this way. Okay, that goes. See, it's like mirror, so I have to like understand that it's not the same way. Uh, but I'm gonna have to like change the settings so it like lasts longer on stream, and then we can watch them bounce. I kind of did it because I was kind of copying. Hey, oh shit. See, anyhow, I wanted to do what Ico does because Ico does rule. But anyhow, wait. But yeah, having said that, this is gonna piss off some people, and maybe this is because I'm a STEM person. But I want to see less philosophy on Twitch politics, and I want to see more math and science. Now, what do I mean? Because you're gonna ask me, what the hell are you talking about, math and science? Like, where does math and science play into politics? Now, I'm not asking for differential equations. I'm not asking for calculus 3. I'm not asking for, derivatives and antiderivatives and, et cetera, et cetera. What I am asking is to bring in our arguments more objective, scientific, mathematical data. Like when we talk about COVID, not being scared to look into the math, to the methodology, into the science, and understanding it. Now, I know. No, accounting I would say is STEM. It's scientific. It's mathematic. I think the M on STEM is mathematics. Uh, so yeah, so I want us to form our positions not just on philosophy, on what is moral and what is ethical and what is this and that and what permits genocide and what permits racism and what permits da 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 do. That's great, but nobody ever. How do I say this without being canceled? The world really comes down to the numbers. When our government reacts to COVID, I would love to think that they are reacting in a way that is consistent with philosophy that we uphold as the crux of who we are, in as enlightened liberal democracy that we are. But I just don't think that's true. I don't think they say, well, for the greater good, or for this ethical purpose or for this, that, and the other. No, it comes down to numbers. It comes down to, you know, understanding uh, that this less productivity in this economy, with workers at home, we need to get them back in the office, back into the ports, driving trucks, et cetera, and we have to start to understand economic things, engineering things, medical things, even if we aren't specialists in it, but having at least a modicum of a cursory review, a cursory understanding, I think is more than enough. And what does a cursory understanding mean? It could literally mean just reading the abstract of a report. Facts are less content worthy. You are right. That is why my name is Only Facts, and that really means only, like, not content, not the kind of content that's sexy and uh, viral, right? No, but Stephanie, I know what you mean, uh, and that is funny, but true. Having said that, reading just the abstract, which abstract means the summary. Usually it's on the first page of a scientific report or a medical report or an engineering report, is usually good enough to give you a good understanding of what is going to be covered. Having that in your back pocket, I think, will lead to and be conducive of more productive discourse and discussion here on Twitch politics, to be exact. So, yeah, because I guess at the end of the day, when people see numbers, when people see formulas, when people see science and see actual numbers in front of them, they can be, I think they can be swayed to support a position, because there is something that they can tangibly say, look, it's better. But when we get into feelings about philosophy, etc., not to meme on the facts over feelings sentiment, but people will always take the prescription of philosophy bros and debate bros as mere suggestions, as mere subjective, ideological stances. And I'm not saying that that is what it is, but I think that is how people feel. So when you hear somebody like a Destiny or a Vosh, who, for all their faults, I respect their philosophical bro debate ways, but a lot of people come away from them understanding that what they keep telling us is we ought to. We ought to do this and we ought to do that because this logical framework, this ethical framework dictates that we do such and such. And these frameworks are flexible. These frameworks can be dismantled and can be propped up ad nauseum, at will, for whoever, whenever, and pertaining to whatever. And uh, you know, when you have a binder full of numbers, not women, not a binder full of women like Mitt Romney, but a binder full of numbers, people tend to listen. Peter says it's a risk analysis issue for sure. That seems to be how governments make most decisions. But part of the issue is that you can't convince someone of change when the size of their bank accounts depend on not having change. Exactly. I totally agree. Uh, you know, they're yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm letting that sink in. Actually, you're right, Peter. And uh, yeah, I'm still thinking. I'm, this is a positive stun lock. A very rare thing for a streamer on Twitch. um, I like that. I like that. And in many cases, it is sad, but that change can only be induced into happening or catalyzed or provoked, shall I say, into change unless the numbers hurt the powers that be, right? So it is not do the numbers for the common folk look good, but it is only when the numbers for the common folk not looking good hurting the numbers for those that are in power. And when I mean in power, I don't mean just elected. I mean structural corporate powers. If it hurts their numbers, then we see things change. So, having said that, uh, I'm going to end on a good note. I'm going to leave it at that. Um, I was hoping to hit an hour, but uh, I that's another thing. Now, Smite Knight was in here earlier. I don't know if they are still here. Uh, I was only able to give 55 minutes of content. I wish I was good at adding more, but I'll just leave it at that. One day I'll be a pro streamer when I grow up. So, but other than that, should I do a raid? Uh, Usually when I only have 5 viewers, proud viewers, the best viewers, viewers that I will not forget when I get to 10 viewers or 20 viewers. And God forbid I get to 30 viewers. I will never forget the original five or the original seven. But, hey, Mr. Potato Karen has shared 100 bits. Hey, I appreciate it. I need to do the TTS thing. See, I'm still learning. Uh, Let me do the ICO thing where it's like, Mr. Potato Karen says, "Hey, I appreciate it. 100 bits or whatever, however the TTS goes." Also, I'm working on a little graphic where it's gonna be like a little beer mug, and like anytime somebody subs or donates or follows, it's gonna like have their name go over the mug and like drop in stuff, and it'll like bounce around. We'll try it out next time, so we'll see. Uh, Before you guys all leave, because I already see it getting down to 4 viewers. By the way, I appreciate that, Steve. Steve, I said, yeah, Steve Bunnell. I appreciate that. Uh, let's uh, let's rate into Prime K's because my 4 proud viewers are equal to more than his 64 right now. So, how do we do this again? Raid forward slash? No, it's forward slash raid, right? Forward slash raid, then prime K's. All right, we're doing it. Okay, did the raid go through? Okay, raid now. Yay! All right, cool. See you guys later. Love you guys. Love you, Stephanie, Peter, Darkshire, everybody. Quiet One, Smite Knight, JJ. I hope Dark Screw or Dark Screw and everybody. I think you guys are gone now. Or do I press raid now? All right, bye bye. Bye bye.